Hey, real estate agents, it's Jeff Underwood with the weekly closer, along with my co-host and business partner, Joey Sampaga. How's it going, Joey?
Doing all right. How you doing?
I'm doing great, doing great. Hey, we have a special guest with us today. That's Salvatore Friscia from San Diego.
Salvatore.
How's it going out
Jeff,
there?
it's going great out here. I appreciate you guys having me on today. I'm excited to talk a little real estate and property management.
Absolutely. I have to tell you, I wish we had some of your weather this way because, you know, this is the time of year where we all ask ourselves in Phoenix, what are we doing?
Well, I know. I know, Jeff. I used to live in Phoenix, Scottsdale area, and I remember those days. But I'll tell you what, we sure pay for this beautiful weather out here in San Diego. So, it doesn't come free.
Yeah. That's absolutely correct. So, Salvatore, I know you've got quite a few things going on with real estate over in San Diego. You've got your San Diego Premier Property Management. I think that's your main brokerage or your main, company. Is that right?
That's correct. I'm the owner and managing broker of two residential property management companies here in San Diego. You mentioned one, San Diego Premier Property Management, and that's our big one. That's our full service property management company. And then we also have another company called tenantfinder.com, which also services rental owners at a different capacity, but it's not a full service. It's just for people who are looking for qualified tenants.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, and I love some of the stuff you do. I saw you and I think it was your wife posted some pictures, right?
That's correct.
T-shirts, is that right? Worry-free T-shirts or something?
That's correct. Absolutely. I appreciate you mentioning that. Yes, we got some new T-shirts in for the company, and Elizabeth, who's my wife, and also helps me with both companies. We were styling those T-shirts in the San Diego area, just promoting our mantra, worry-free property management.
Yeah, I saw them. They're cool. They're really cool.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. She's done some dancing too, though. I think you've turned the camera on while she's done some dancing in some properties, right?
We like to have fun, so absolutely. So we like to have fun. We do some boomerang stuff, and when we're out there doing checking up on our properties and going throughout San Diego, I'll sneak sometimes some of those boomerang moments, and we'll have fun. We'll post them up there.
Absolutely.
Do laughs. It's all fun.
That was a boomerang one, wasn't it?
It was, absolutely.
That's right. Somebody asked me about that the other day. We were talking Instagram with a group of agents, and they were like, hey, what's that boomerang feature? I said, well, have you ever seen like something going forward, then backward, then forward, then backward, then forward, reverse, fast forward, all. Oh, that's what that is. So, yeah, I should have showed him that one. That would have been a good example for me to share for him. So.
Absolutely. Well, as you know, sometimes property management can be a little dry, so we try and have fun while we're doing it, and if we can capture some moments and then share that with people who are watching, it's always good.
Absolutely. So let's get into more about your business. I mean, what exactly are you doing out there in San Diego? And give us a little bit of rundown.
Sure. So we specialize in managing single-family homes, condominiums, and apartments in the Metro San Diego area. So we help people who have rental properties in San Diego. And, a lot of those people are from the Arizona area, from the Phoenix, Scottsdale area. They come out here, and as you mentioned earlier, the weather is just so inviting and beautiful. They'll have a rental property out here, and they're a state away. And they need management. They need somebody who can step in and do the marketing for that property, to handle the everyday operation, put a qualified tenant in there, make sure when there's necessary repairs that those are handled in a professional fashion, and make sure that that property is actually performing, that asset is performing the way it should, and that they're doing it from a passive position as opposed to the people who are, going around fixing toilets and that type of stuff. We try and take that aspect out of it and allow people just to enjoy the income portion of their rental property.
Got it. Okay. How did Tenant Finder come about?
That's a great story.
How did it work?
Yeah. I love answering this question because, for me, getting involved in property management was completely by chance. And then Tenant Finder itself was something that was just born out of, in my opinion, necessity. So we had our property management company, and we realized early on that not a lot of people wanted full management for whatever reason. Maybe they didn't want the cost associated, or maybe they just lived in town, and they were more hands-on and felt like, hey, I'm 15 minutes away. If something happens, I can run over there. I can deal with it. And we just didn't want to fight that uphill battle of trying to convince people who were never going to be convincible that they needed management. So we realized that one thing that most people do not like is dealing with finding a qualified tenant. The hassles of doing the showings, people not showing up, or requesting a showing at dinner time, or just dealing with deadbeat people. So we decided, you know what, let's offer a service where we provide that aspect of the rental portion, where we find a qualified tenant and then hand that back over to the owner and allow them to continue on with the management of their own property. But at least we would hit the easy button and alleviate that problem that everybody seemed to have, which was finding that qualified tenant. So we started what was called our tenant finder service at the time, and it was part of our property management company. And little by little, Jeff, we noticed that a lot of people were intrigued by that portion, that service. And we started to see that it had a little bit of traction. So I advised the office that if we could do this for another year and see what type of results we'd have, maybe, just maybe, we could break it out on its own merits and see if it could stand alone. And it did. It was returning the type of results that I anticipated. So we did exactly that. We broke it away from San Diego Premier Property Management, and we just allowed it to be on its own. And it's been now a few years, and it's going great. Just year over year growth, and a lot of people really love the service.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I saw 5-star reviews on Facebook for that too. That's cool.
It always helps. Absolutely. That's a big motivator, is to get those 5-star reviews. Absolutely.
Well, I can see how they can how these two things can feed off each other. I personally, if I had properties, I probably wouldn't want to hassle with finding somebody. Yeah. Oh, God, especially if I lived here in Arizona, right? And I had a property over in San Diego, and I needed to find. That's a great service.
Absolutely. So we got it covered. Our goal is to cover all the bases and to kind of, take somebody who has a rental property and allow them to, utilize our services, whatever they need. If they need full management or if they just need a tenant. And, as a full brokerage, we can bring people in from the acquisition part. We could hold them all the way through the management portion. And then when it's time for them to sell that property, if they want a liquidity event, that's great. We can do that too. We can sell that property. Or if they want to venture on in 1031, those proceeds into something bigger and better, we can help facilitate with that as well. So we really have created this sphere of clientele that we can mine and help grow their portfolio all in-house from beginning to the end process.
Got it. What about also what if somebody wants you to help them find a property that would be good for them to buy as a rental?
Absolutely, and we do that as well. Okay. Yeah, we do that as well. A lot of times, though, you'd be surprised. A lot of times that's our existing clients. So we don't do a lot of competing with the real estate industry in terms of competing with realtors or real estate agents. We like to stay in and mine our clientele. So a lot of times we'll show somebody who may have had a bad experience with a rental property before, we'll show them how it's done right. And then once they start to see that, yes, this can be lucrative, yes, this can help them grow their wealth, they'll want to reinvest and buy other properties. And at that time, we step in and we can act in the form of a real estate agent or whatnot and get them another property, another investment property.
Got it. But mostly you are servicing. I mean, if agents find, you can get some good referrals, I'm assuming, from our realtor partners, right?
Absolutely. Realtors
for helping them property management and find the tenants and all that. So,
absolutely, Jeff. So, a big part of our business is from, like you mentioned, referrals from real estate agents. And we respect and honor that relationship so much that we have what's called an ironclad referral agreement. Because everybody knows, listen, it's a little scary to send off your client to a property management company who also does some sales and wonder, okay, now am I going to have to compete back for my client? So we just take all of that out of the equation. We put together in writing an ironclad referral agreement where we say anyone referred to us in writing, signed off by me personally, is going to be referred right back to you when they make any mention of selling that property. And we've continually for the last 13 years honored that ironclad referral agreement. And that's the reason why we get so many real estate agents and brokers who don't want to deal with property management or deal with rental clients. They send them our way because they know their clients are safe. And not only that, but we give them a referral fee when they do it. So there's a little bit of money on the front end, a little bit of money on that back end, and they know that their client's safe and we're taking care of them in a way that, makes sense for the industry.
No, that is awesome. That's great. That's really great. So you heard it here, folks. If you're going to reach out to Salvatore, ironclad, I'm telling you right now. And they have the worry-free teas, which is cool.
And those worry-free teas, that's right.
So let's break into some of the things that you're doing that I think you're doing kind of outside the box for marketing, and we're trying to teach a lot of agents about these different things, whether it's Snapchat or video or Facebook Live or Instagram or whatever it happens to be, boomerang and some pictures, right, or some short little. But I want to hear from you. How are you having success? Because I know you're having some with, let's say, Snapchat, for example.
Sure. Well, our Snapchat platform, we started probably a couple of years ago. I was influenced by Gary Vee. I was listening to Gary Vee, and he made mention that about Snapchat. And at the time, my kids were snapping, but anybody over the age of 30 didn't know what Snapchat was or how to use it effectively. So I went on there and I immediately realized the power of utilizing these short little snippets of video. And I said, let's just do this for a little bit. And we did. And we, as I mentioned earlier, property management can be dry. I mean, we didn't want to just go and do the average, look at our property. This is how much it's for rent. And, we wanted to bring something different, something that other people weren't doing. So we decided, let's just do like our daily activities, what we do. Because my wife and I, we do more than just renting the properties. We have property managers for that. We're meeting with clients. We're doing, behind the scenes stuff. We're at the office. We're doing more entrepreneurial stuff. So we snapped a lot of that. And the response was fantastic. A lot of people, and I'll bring, for example, Jason Frazier, who we both know as part of the Snap group there. Yeah. He mentioned that he was apprehensive to watch, the snaps because he thought, property management would be so boring. But the first time he tuned in, he saw us walking through a property talking about how we were going to take that property and we were going to add value and renovate it so that we could raise the rent on the property. And it was so much different than what he had seen from some other people who may have been doing something similar. So, just by showing some different aspects of real estate and not just the same old stuff, it really got us, a good footing on the platform. Yeah,
no, that's awesome. And you have a success story, or a couple of them, but I remember seeing one here recent, and correct me if I'm wrong, or I want you to explain it, but it looked like somebody had found you through Snapchat and actually sent you a long, video message. I mean, I know there were 10-second increments, but sent you a message, right?
Oh, absolutely. And this is incredible. So we have had some success from Snapchat. We've closed several deals, but this deal, the one that you're referring to, is probably my favorite because there was no prior interaction with this individual. So we had never sent an email. They didn't click on our landing page. We never spoke with them prior, other than the fact that they were watching our snaps. And then they reached out to us and they said they had a property, they needed management. We were able to come together and we provided the service that they wanted. And they were so happy that they did a series of snaps themselves, unsolicited. Our office didn't ask for it. I didn't ask for it. It was unbeknownst to me. I was watching Snap one day and I saw this series of snaps where they were talking about the positive experience that they had using our services. So immediately, I was humbled and a little taken back. I showed my wife and I said, wow. And immediately I said, we've got to reach out to this individual before this disappears. And we got to ask them, even if we have to walk them through the process of how to save that, and ask them if they'd share that with us because this is gold. And we did. We reached out. They were so kind that they said, absolutely, anything you need. They saved their series of snaps, sent it to us in an email. And that's where you saw, because we put it together in a nice little package on Facebook, and we shared it with the Snapchat group. And, it was something to where, not trying to be braggadocious, but to say, if you're going to use these platforms, if you're going to engage with people, you can get this type of response back. And definitely it's a springboard to use for other platforms and for your business, because when you have somebody talking positively about your business, as this individual was, you definitely need to utilize it. And it was really good to receive.
Yeah, no, and Joey always says that the best way to brag about yourself is to have other people do it for
Absolutely.
you.
Absolutely.
So that's great. That's great. No, that's an awesome story. I remember seeing it. I was like, wow, there's a whole bunch of these little, 10-second clips, right? Sharing her message
Absolutely.
about how awesome
Yes.
your service was.
So, Salvatore, I have a question in regards to Snapchat. With Snapchat, of course, we know that it's more the younger generation. And so tell me how it's actually, I know you're doing snaps, and you've got some real estate agents who are using Snapchat, but how do you feel that it's building your business or your brand?
Sure. Well, Joey, honestly, I've heard this a lot. A lot of people say, the demographics don't support real estate or property management or whatever to be on Snapchat. And I understand that. There's compelling evidence that shows that. But there's also a trend that shows that, people are being brought down to utilize these platforms because they have to, because it's out there. And, by being real and just showing what we do, we have people that watch our snaps that are much younger and much older. So, recently we've been able to connect with somebody who had a property that was in a 55 plus community.
Wow.
Who was watching our social media, whether it be through our Facebook Live show or whether it be through our Snapchat. They were watching our content, and somehow they connected with us because they saw that, we were doing something much different than anybody else, or they were on that platform, and we were able to reach them. So I understand that the demographics may not support it, but whenever you're putting out good content, whenever you're putting out original content and you're being yourself, there's an opportunity to either build brand awareness or to get clientele or to just set the pace in your industry so that other people who are maybe trying to compete would have a higher barrier of entry to compete with you. So that's kind of our mantra on utilizing all these different platforms.
Sure. Good stuff.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. You mentioned Facebook, so let's transition over to you.
Sure.
You launched a new show, right? A live show now. I think you've got 4 episodes. So tell us a little bit about how that came about and kind of the plan behind that show.
Sure. Okay. So beginning of the year, my wife and I, we go over our goals and we go over them frequently. And I said, you know what? We've got to do more live video. And, I think a lot of people realize that that's what's hot right now. It's, I'm not breaking any news that live video is hot, and Facebook Live was hot. And I said, you know what? We should definitely be doing a Facebook Live show. And we did. We put together #RentTime. What an original name there, RentTime.
There you go.
And Elizabeth and I, we do what we like to call a conversational property management real estate show, where we talk about, the events that happened that week. And then we also add some value to that conversation in giving back to whether you're a property, needing your property managed, or you're a rental property owner, or you're a tenant. We try and hit all the different areas and bring value in that way. And we do it in, not a stuffy way. It's her and I going back and forth. We have a lot of fun. We address a lot of questions that come in. And of course, our mantra is always just try to bring value to the equation, because we believe that, the rental market, in terms of people owning rental property, it's underserved in the real estate industry. Everybody wants to either gravitate towards the luxury home market or the real estate sales side. And then those people who own those rental properties, and, they're underserved in our opinion. So we felt that it was a great opportunity to reach that, that segment of the market and bring some value and help them along with some of our expertise and knowledge. Yeah,
no, I love the idea. Facebook Live is definitely. Wait, we can go live on Facebook now? No, that was breaking news. No, I'm just teasing. No, that's a great way to get your message out there. I saw that most recent one. It's almost 800 views on that most recent one. Yeah, we've had a great following, which is encouraging. And, the engagement's great as well. So we love to get questions. We have a lot of people who follow us regularly. And then we also have people on the replay.
And we love to get those questions because then we know that people are actually watching it, and the engagement back and forth is what fuels us to do more of them.
Yeah. Yeah. And if more people that watch the recording later would go ahead and put their questions in the comment area, right? That gives you more content now for a future show. So definitely.
Absolutely. I mean,
Definitely.
I think you nailed it right there. Absolutely.
Well, and the consistency is the key. So obviously keeping it going. Episode 4 now. So I don't know how many you're going to have before the end of the year, but I'm sure it's going to be a lot. And you guys might get so busy with your property management stuff, you'll have to really pencil in those video times on your calendar, huh?
Those are good problems to have. I think we both agree.
Absolutely.
Getting too busy is never something I worry about.
Yeah. So one last question before we get into the ring with the maniacs here. What about how do you? I was looking at your personal page, your San Diego Premier Property and Tenant Finder. Separate pages. How do you balance the? I know on your personal page you put quite a bit of like personal content mixed in. What's kind of a good rule of thumb for you? What do you try to do as far as personal versus business?
Well, that's a great question. We try and keep the personal. I have 4 children and my wife and and I like to put, different pictures of what we're doing around town, that type of stuff. Every once in a while, I'll definitely share something from a business side on the personal, but most of the personal page is just for, what we do here entrepreneurially and our adventures in terms of, going around San Diego, that type of stuff. On our business pages, we have different segments for each day of the week. And we try and stay true to that on each business page so that we can bring value. So we have, like on our San Diego Premier Property Management Facebook page, we have on Wednesday our, where in San Diego, where, for Wednesday. And we post a picture and we try and, it's just an ambiguous picture of some place in San Diego, whether it be a building or a local area. And we try and get, engagement on where this is. And we get a lot of feedback on that. We get a lot of engagement from people trying to guess where that picture was taken. And then we have our Tenant Tip Tuesday. On Tuesdays, we offer a tip to all the tenants out there. We try and do that stuff. So we do break it down and we schedule it out, usually about 3-4 days in advance. We try and keep that fresh in case something comes about that, is intriguing and we want to pop that in there. But we keep them separate and we try and all original content. We try not to just put a lot of low-hanging fruit and a lot of, stuff that's not integral to our businesses. And we've been able to build up a good following doing that.
No. Yeah, I love it. I love that stuff.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. So are you ready to get in the ring with the maniacs?
All right, let's do this.
All right, here we go. What's the best advice anyone's ever given you?
The best advice anyone's ever given me.
Yeah.
Just be yourself, think big.
There we go. How about your favorite mobile app?
Oh, my favorite mobile app, Canva. I'm on that thing all the time.
Canva.
That is nice. A good one. That is a good one. I found one the other day that I tried and I really like. It's called it's Color Pop.
Color Pop.
Color Pop. It's free. You can. It's one of those things where you load an image in and it makes the image black and white, and then you can take and you can make whatever thing that's in color in the picture. You can make it pop. With just its color and take everything else as black and white. It's kind of cool.
I'll have to check that out. Nice.
Absolutely. How about a book recommendation? I bet I know which one.
Book recommendation. You know what? My most recent book that I'm continually reading is Katie Lance's book, Get Social Smart. So give her a shout out. But that's an excellent book. And a lot of the information that I'm talking about today probably stems from me interacting with Katie and getting knowledge from her. So definitely want to make mention of that. She's been very helpful in our social media scheduling. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think I met her out at the Social Media Marketing World event that we were all out.
That's correct. That's correct. It's the day that you and I met as well. Absolutely.
That's right. Yeah. No, Katie's great. And the book, I need to pick up that book still. I picked up the one from Seth Price, so I don't know if you're getting that one too. The Road to Recognition.
I haven't, but I think I will. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that you put those two things together right there, hers and his book, and yeah, I think anybody can build their brand and their presence for sure. All right, so let's get into the next question. How about, what's your favorite hobby?
Ooh, favorite hobby. Well, I like sports. I don't know if it's a hobby, but watching baseball is definitely something I like to do. So baseball, put that down as my favorite hobby.
Oh, all right. The Padres.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're not doing so well again.
All right. And last question. This one's kind of a random one.
Okay.
How about telling the listeners or viewers something about you that most people don't know?
Ooh, something about me that most people don't know. Most people don't know that I played in the Amateur Baseball World Series as a young man. That's something that I'm proud of. Yeah,
That's a great experience.
Absolutely.
Oh, thanks so much. Hey, thank you so much for being on, Salvatore. This has been great. If agents that are listening or watching, they want to reach out to you directly, whether they have a question about renting a place over, getting a tenant over in San Diego or whatever the case, how would they do that?
They can go to our website. They can go to sdpmanagement.com. That's sdpmanagement.com. They can go to our website. They can contact me via email at info@sdpmanagement.com. And I'll definitely help them out, answer any questions that I can. They can also, follow us on our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the major social media platforms. And personal one is just SJ Friscia, and they can find everything on there.
All right, and that's Friscia.
You nailed it, Jeff. Absolutely.
There we go. Awesome. Thank you so much for being on. This has been great information. Joey, anything?
No, thanks for the information. We're definitely going to share this out and syndicate it to our viewers, and hopefully they'll be contacting you soon.
Fantastic. Jeff, Joey, I appreciate the time. It's been a pleasure.
I'm going to let you know next time I'm in San Diego.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Look us up next time you're in San Diego. We'll have a good time again.
Will do, man. Okay, thanks so much, bud.
Thanks. You guys have a great day now.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.